What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Bill Mack here, along with
Brandon at Bullet B on Twitter. What's up, everybody?
That's right. And we are here to join today together to talk about a topic that has plagued our relationships and how we go about them. And it's that two little things that involve. It's called social media and it's called technology. And those two things over the years have altered the way we have relationships, how they start, how they end. And it's just some things that today that Mr. Brandon and I decided we were going to get together and talk about today. It's something that needs to be brought up because it's happening all around us, and we've grown up through it, folks. I mean, no longer be like they used to be.
Basically, I'm helping Bill with his topic videos, and he's helping me with my topic videos at the same time. Collaboration, because you remember like back in the 90s, Master P released an album with so many artists on there featuring so-and-so, featuring so-and-so. So that makes sense.
Oh, I knew. I knew. I thought get it in.
Bill's crazy.
No, it's just some folks that is really
social media it's really changed the game, man. For better or for worse, social media has really changed the dating game, man. For better or for worse.
Well, it's growing up. Things used to be back when we were younger. We always grew up, and you know, when our parents and stuff, they talked about how they used to get together, and you know, if you had that talk, and you know, it used to be, would you like to go out with me? Check yes or check no, or circle yes or circle no. And it was just things started going out, or you asked, you know, if it was okay for the girl to go, and then you went by and the parents, and you went and picked her up, and so, and you talked on the phone. You know, you talked each night to them for a little bit, you know, and got to know them that way. And you went to the movies on Friday, you know, and went or to the drive-in. And that was how things used to be, man, how it used to be in communication. You actually talked to people personally and actually saw them to do it. But with today's technology and social media taking a hold of today's society, man, it's kind of taken to where you don't really even have to meet the person online to start to be in a relationship with them. I mean, you know, with all these sites and things that's come along, and you know, this social media and stuff, you can just about meet the person without really meeting them.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, you think about it, because you do all these things now. You can go to a dating site and meet somebody. Okay, you can talk to them back and forth through the messages, back and forth through, you know, social media, through sites and stuff before you even really talk to them on the phone. It's like nowadays talking to them, really, you don't really have to do it on the phone anymore. People don't really even want to talk on the phone as much anymore. They'll text you.
That's sad. That's sad, because people naturally love to talk. They just don't realize it sometimes. But there is that app out there called FaceTime. People use that, but that's usually for married couples. By the time when they get married is when they get face to face and use Skype and use FaceTime and stuff. You know.
Damn. Yeah, it's just weird. I mean, I've always wanted to talk to the person, because you know, when you talk to somebody, they can see your expressions, they can see you have your emotions, they know whether you're true or not. You know, they can just tell it without going through a site and looking at it and putting a smiley face or LOL. Are you really LOLing that much? You know, are you really laughing that much? Are you laughing out loud, really? You know,
I took that literally back on AOL Yahoo chat rooms when I was new to the internet. When people put LOL, laughing out loud, I said, "Damn, I must be a funny motherfucker," because they keep putting LOL at me. And then I realized it was just like a polite gesture, you know.
Well, you have to, because they're not getting any emotion from you, because you know as well as I do, when you talk to people, if you don't put LOL and you're being either funny or sarcastic, and you don't put that, people are going to people will get upset thinking you meant one thing what you're typing when you really meant the opposite. So what does that kind of tell you when you're basically trying to talk to someone and you say something, try to be funny, sarcastic, whatever, and they think you're being serious? But if you didn't put that LOL on there, I mean, my ex was bad for that. When we text all the time, whether we were together or not, and she would always get upset, and I would say, look, there's an LOL there. If I put an LOL, that means I'm joking. That doesn't mean I'm being for real, okay? That's what that LOL is supposed to mean, because we're not talking on the phone. So if you're not,
you have to explain that to them, because they can't read your emotions with it. They don't know what your tone of voice with it. And that's why sometimes I put LOL, then I put a bracket, and in the bracket I put I'm joking in all caps, just to remind them. Like, shit.
That's true. That's exactly.
They get immune to seeing LOL, where they'll still take it literally, even though you put LOL. They're so used to seeing it don't occur to them. Like, by the way, I am joking.
Exactly. I mean, but you have to do that. You have to do that, because they don't necessarily just, I don't know, do they? It's like when you look at somebody face to face and you say something, they can get that vibe off of you and tell it. But nobody wants to talk anymore. I've tried to talk to different girls from different sites, and they'll give you their number, but they want you to text them. Don't call them, but they want you to text them, and that takes away. And used to, man, and I'm not trying to sound sexist or nothing, but like used to, it's always been known that women talk the most. That's what it's always been known throughout life, and through as long as I've known, is between men and women. Women were always the ones that generally talk the most. But no longer that. Social media, they don't have to. And then when you get to wanting to talk to them, they're far out, not even even in the aspect of knowing what's going on, because they don't have to talk to you on the phone.
But you know what? This is my plan. I'll get the girl on the phone, and I'll have a really fun conversation with her that she can't resist. And she'll say, damn, I really enjoyed talking to you, and this was fun. And I try to win them over that way, and then they forget about it. Mm-hmm. Like with that girl, Rebecca, she said, man, we talked for 3-4 hours. We had an awesome conversation. Right. And the next day she's back to texting. I'm like, hey, remember them awesome conversations we had? It's like I couldn't even keep them talking that way. And right. It's like they keep going back to the text and knowing that the verbal is better. Yeah.
That's true. And that's the thing that you have to worry about when you have those phone conversations with a female, is if that's going to entice them to want to talk more, because it's like, okay, did you watch the movie 21 Jump Street?
I sure did.
Okay, do you remember the dude, the boy Smith? He liked the little girl in drama class, and he got her number.
Yeah.
Okay, remember that night he called her on the phone, and she said, "Oh, I'm not used to people calling. I'm used to text, and usually only my parents call." I'm like, ain't that kind of telling you, summing up to you how technology really is and how younger people these days communicate, or lack thereof, compared to how an older generation or that next generation, which you and I fall under, how we used to write letters. Man, I can remember, and I'm pretty sure you can remember too, back when you were in school and in middle school and in primary, and
I still got them.
Huh?
I said I still got the pen pal letters. I had 3 or 4 pen pals, dude. I had one in Texas, Pennsylvania, and another area, and I still got the letters, dude. I used to have all kinds of pen pals. I would find them in them wrestling magazines, and we write, and then we get like a calling card and call each other long distance and talk for a few minutes, and it was cool, man. That was more meaningful because it wasn't overdone. It wasn't done every single day. And I remember when texting first came out, I said, this is awesome, kind of like pen, or the internet, for example. I said, this is awesome, but it kind of takes away that deep connection that you get when you got a pen pal far away and you look forward to the letter and stuff. You kind of take it for granted then. you know. So I'm glad. See, we come from a generation where we're kind of in between. We grew up with the old school mentality, pen pal letters, so on and so forth. And we're also young enough to experience the social media part.
Right.
So I'm glad. So we're kind of like in between. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my thing is I try to talk to women my age so they come for a familiar perspective. But, you know, beggars can't be choosers. And usually a lot of times younger women like me more so than women my age or whatever the case. But I think 25 and up is good for me. But sometimes I might, you know, meet a 23-year-old or something. And, you know, and like I said, beggars can't be choosers. And, you know, I've talked to her. But I've talked to these younger girls and I've gotten their head. And it's kind of fun to figure out their mentality and how young people are now. And you're absolutely right. You know, they're all about the texting and shit like that. I'm like, hey, you're really missing out on life. You know, you're really missing out on that human experience, that connection there, you know.
It's true. It's true because you look at when back then, and that's why I used to tell Grandma when I was growing up, I said I would have been a better person to date in the 50s and 60s because of my old-fashioned ways of dating doesn't coincide with today's society. It just it's just old fashioned. You don't see.
Yeah. Amen to that, bro. Amen to that, because old school works. And it's, you know, people say, well, Brandon, because I'm old fashioned myself, you know, Frank Sinatra music. I'm all about old school when it comes to relationships, being a gentleman, paying for dinner, stuff like that. And you know, because it works. And that's what I argue with women. I'm like, when they say you're old fashioned, I'm like, well, hey, it works. That's why, you know, and I believe in taking it slow, get to know her before you love her. Right. Long-term gratification, not instant. And it will always work, dude. Long-term gratification always works. We just have to teach these girls that and show them that. So, yeah, so it's possible. It's possible. You just have to, you know, really try. It has to be a really special girl, and you really have to go that extra step with her and see if she's patient enough for you. And 9 times out of 10, she won't be, because we know how young girls are. They all say, well, I'm mature for my age. I understand stuff. They all say that, but you never know. All young girls say that. Well, I'm mature for my age. Like, yeah, we'll see if you're here in 3 months or whatever the case.
It's one thing, and I noticed that with my ex was that same thing. You know, they're mature for their age in some aspects, but not all.
Sure.
Of them, you know, and you're learning, and that's the importance of before all this social media, Twitter and tweet, because people, you know, and I bet you've heard of people that have broken up over social media or called on the telephone. When you break up, you need to break up. To me, it's always important if you meet them face to face. I just feel like, in my own opinion, and just my opinion, that you should be man or woman enough to do it. But if you go and break up on the telephone or instant message, what is that really saying? You're not really, you're losing the human aspect. And then it's like you going overseas and you see these people that marry, they have daughters, they have sons, and they don't even know the daughters and sons they're already going to marry. They send their mamas and daddies send them out to be married to people they don't even know, but they're princes and princesses, and they're supposed to get married and to princesses, and princes are supposed to get married. Princesses are supposed to get married, princes, and that's how they do it. They don't know each other, but they know that's what they're supposed to do, and it's like that kind of here, to where you're messaging somebody, but you're never getting the time to know them. Why not take them out more? Why not? Don't you want to get together and talk about yourself? You know, it's like that. That site, not site, it's an app, Tinder. And I know you've heard of Tinder, where you slide to the left.
Sure.
And you look at them and say, oh, this one slide to the left. Oh, this one slide to the left. Oh, he's slide to the right. You know, and what you're doing is you're basically looking at the person and you're judging them, but you're not taking any time to know them. It's like these women go out there and, oh my God, I want to just meet a nice man that'll treat me right. No, you don't, you stupid ass. You want some guy that's got looks and got this and that, and you're not taking the time. Take the time.
But you know what? Yeah, social media exposed that. That exposed women right there, because they all say the same shit. We want a nice man, etc., etc. No, You want
Yep.
a pretty boy, a pretty rich boy, or something like that. But let's backtrack a second. When you're talking about how people break up over a text message and stuff, that's always been my experience with women. Like my ex Destiny, dude, because texting was pretty new at that point. Well, it was about a few years old. And man, she would not answer the phone. She would not talk to me. She would not meet me face to face. She broke up with me through a text message, and I called her a coward for that. Addie did the same thing, because they want to break up with you, they'll do it through a fucking text message. And at my job, dude, every time I text my supervisor, he'll simply say, "Call me." You know, it's very not confrontational, but just straight up. You know, my supervisors don't play that shit. They don't play that in the work field. But you damn right. If a girl's done you wrong and they know they done you wrong, they're gonna do the chicken shit heel maneuver and text you about it, and they won't give you a fucking straight answer. And I can't stand that stuff, dude. And I just wanted to add that on there right quick. But
I understand that.
But as far as the women looking for nice guy stuff, that disappointed me, dude, because I grew up thinking women honestly cared more about personality and my charm and my personality will win the girl over, blah, blah, blah. And I got on these dating websites. I'm like, man, these girls are shady as fuck. They're sitting here saying they're contradicting themselves. I want a nice gentleman. I don't care about looks. And they'll find every excuse in the world not to talk to me. It's like they got so many options, they don't know what they want. Now, to be fair, not all women are like that. Some women marry really unattractive guys and shit. I'm like, why the fuck can't I have somebody? I remember you telling me about you was in the theater watching one of the Marvel movies, and and you said you saw this big guy sitting with this really attractive female, and it just makes you feel lonely sometimes, because some people are so lucky and some people are not so lucky. You know, women think I got options. People, I come off as I got options, and really I just have standards. But women will tell me that, oh, you got girlfriends everywhere. Like, no, I don't. The game has changed. You know, women got all the options now. We ain't got shit, dude. In the 90s, men were the players. In the 2000s and 2010s, it's the women, because of social media. Because there's always a guy sending them a message to my, hey, sweetie. And it goes to their head. And they got to wise up and understand, you know, okay, we got to put this away and stick with the guy that's serious. You know, just pick one. They're all the same anyway, according to women. So, yeah, once they mature, I think they will wise up with that and, you know, stick with one guy. I don't know, man. It concerns me sometimes. Like with that girl Tiff, dude, you know, she's 24, 25, and she's addicted to attention. She's so addicted to it because she would get 500 likes on her pictures and stuff. She's so addicted to that. It's like impossible for her to stick with one guy, one relationship. That concerns me, you know. Not her personally. I ain't worried about her. I'm just saying, like, women like her in general. You can't trust them, man. You want to, and it's just tough sometimes. And I'm not a controlling, possessive guy. I don't want to go through their phones. I don't want to go through their website. That's a red flag. I don't want to do that stuff. And it's hard to find a woman that's untrustworthy. And the thing is, like I said, not possessive, not controlling, but I always find probable cause to be that way, to do that, you know, because I knew for a fact Destiny was talking to other guys and shit. That's when I went through her phone, because I had probable cause to do so, because she was telling me a straight up lie. And that's when I checked it. And that sucked, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And that's true, man. It really, you know, it gives social media, it's like, even when I was talking before, you know, used to everybody, you know, I'd hear people say, oh, Bill Max, man, look at all these girls he's talking to.
Oh, yeah, you were, dude. Dude, you were the fucking man, son.
And stuff.
Man, you had so many lady friends. Dude, you were the woman with all the attention back then. You had all the women. I told my roommate at the time, ladies and gentlemen, I used to have a roommate here temporarily, a dude staying here, and he was on my yearbook. We were all on myyearbook.com website, and my buddy Rick said, man, I can't. Every girl I try to talk to or add on yearbook is friends with your friend Bill. I said, dude, you're just going to have to accept the fact that all the girls on my yearbook is friends with Bill or know Bill somehow. I said, Bill is the fucking man. And Bill, you wasn't a player or nothing. You just happened to meet a lot. That's different. You have a lot of lady friends. It's not like you were sleeping with them. You're just a likable person, and you had a lot of lady friends at that time. And if you could have found one, you would have stuck with her, and you did. With your ex, you found her and you stuck with her. You weren't on Facebook anymore. You weren't doing anything.
Yeah, that's a good thing too, man. Because dude,
you knew when to put it down. In other words, I
did that to make her comfortable. I did that out of respect. I mean, had I understood what that meant, it would have gone just as down as that. But it was only, let's just say that was a learning experience with that. But it's okay because I really understood afterwards. But it's only because when I met these girls, when I'm talking to someone, I'm not an aggressive guy. I don't just like pounce on them and trying to talk to them. I'm kind of more like slowly edge closer to them. And where they're like, how like a person will see a deer, and instead of jumping at the deer because the deer will run off, they'll slowly take their hand and slowly hold it out towards the deer, hoping that the deer will find that it's harmless and they can pet the deer. And then you finally get close enough you can actually rub the deer, and the deer sees that you're not going to hurt it, and it'll stay there and let you rub it. That's kind of what you try to do with girls, is they have to see that you're not these aggressive.
That's a very good analogy right there, dude. I think you just hit the nail on the head with that. That's very good. See, me, it's all about timing and everything, but the analogy you just used just said it perfectly. Yeah, eventually, you can. That's brilliant, dude. You're fucking genius, man. That's awesome.
Well,
it's a good analogy.
Well, I appreciate that. Thanks,
Dr. Bill.
Well, and I know Grandma used to tell me that all the time, but that's all it was, man. You sit there and some of these girls will talk to you. They will share stuff with you. That's how I too, growing up, and by being friends, they would tell me what their guys would do and what they didn't like, or if whatever was the case. That was the funny thing about it, is because by me doing that, it allowed me to understand more about what women want, what some women don't like. It gave me a kind of like a checklist. Is okay. Some girls don't like this, some don't like that. So it's not just me being a guy raised up and said, well, I'll not do this because I know girls might not like it, but actually knowing, because you're actually being friends with him. And sometimes you can be friends with some girls, they'll try to help you out with other girls. That's just the way it works. If you don't tend to be a bandit and jump on it, then chances are you just slowly edge yourself in and make yourself comfortable. A lot of times females will welcome you in. That's how you get to be friendly with them. When they see that you're not aggressive, they're more willing to let you get close than they were if you were just trying to pounce on it. And that was why I was friends with a lot of them. I didn't flirt with. Sure, there was 2 or 3 of them I flirted with, but I wasn't trying to date them. It wasn't like it was going to some kind of, it was coming out to something bigger. It was just just saying, hey, darling, hey, sweetie, something like that, or you're beautiful. Quit thinking yourself lowly. I call them, and then my ex used to get mad because when she found a lot of the messages I sent, a lot of them when we were broken up, I was just trying to be complimentary because a lot of them were kind of down about themselves. And I was trying to say things that I wouldn't consider flirty, but I consider being compliments. But some people today can't tell the difference between a compliment to make them feel better and flirting with them, because you can talk to some girls, dude, and I bet you've run into it too. You try just to be nice to them, they think you're trying to sleep with them, and all you're trying to do is be nice to them.
Well, in my case, they were just egotistical. Or you just want me or something. I'm like, look, I'm just trying to be your friend. Yeah, absolutely. There's different reasons, but yeah. One time, let me see. This girl posted on Facebook that she was feeling bad or having a bad day or something like that. And I commented and said, I'm sorry, is what I said. And she replied back and said, you're sorry for what? I said, I'm sorry you're having a bad day. What the fuck,
that kills me.
Something
Man.
like that. It's to take it. I'm like, she's so stupid, you know, like the way she phrased it. And I'm like, well, hey, I'm sorry. Sorry for what? You know, I'm like, bitch, I'm sorry you're having a bad day. Damn, take it out on me. You might to rocks. I deleted that one. I couldn't take that, dude.
They'll do that, man. They will do that. People don't get when you say I'm sorry, that means I feel really bad for you. Instead of saying, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, it's not your fault. You're like, I didn't say it was. I'm not apologizing.
Exactly.
I'm sorry for doing it wrong. I said, I'm saying I'm sorry because I really feel badly for you that you're having to endure this or having to go with that. It was just funny to me how they would basically do that. And, you know, I was just laughing at them. I'm like, for now on, I'll just say, I'm sorry for this or I'm sorry for that. So they're just saying, I'm sorry because they don't get it then. But, yeah, man, it's just because they have those options and those sites like My Yearbook and Facebook and MySpace and Tag and all in Hi-Fi, all these old ones that used to be out there were for that. It was for socializing, you know. But like I said, as Facebook has blown up, every other one of these sites just about has really just broken down. I've had girls. I've tried to talk to girls. One time I met on. Well, I don't know if it was. I think it might have been at Plenty of Fish, and I talked to her. She wanted me to get beer for her, and she would do some things to me if I got her some beer because she couldn't go out late. She claimed she was from Leland, and she wrote in my inbox just out of nowhere. I mean, dude, I didn't even know, you know, because she was close by and stuff, and she was in that. She was like, "Well, I'm in the house," and I don't know what she was on. But she was like, "Oh, I'm in the house and I can't, you know, it's late and I can't get out. But if you come by and get some alcohol and bring it to me, then I'll do this for you and I'll do that for you." And I'm like, "What? You know, what are you talking about? I don't even know who you are." You know, she says, "If you hurry up, you know, can you hurry up because they're going to close and so." And I'm like, "Really?" You know, I'm like, "I don't know who you are," but that's just how people get on these sites. And it's like you said, they can look at whichever one they want to count down, and where one guy may tell them no, they've got 10 others that'll tell them yeah, or they'll say, "Oh, well, I can do it if they can't do it, or I can be there for you if the other one can't." But really, it's just one person trying to get an opportunity to get their foot in the door where they can try to jump on it. They're not trying to really get to know that person, because if you really like someone or want to get to know them, you're going to want to get to know them. You know, jumping and judging them ain't gonna help things go any smoother at all anyway.
And I tried to, dude, I asked the girl straight up. I took this girl out on a date. I said, "Are you looking for something serious?" She said, "Why you got to be all serious? Just chill out and enjoy the day." I said, "No." I said, "It's a fair question. Are you looking for a serious relationship, or are you just casually dating people, meeting people?" I had to know, because back in 2011, I was meeting girls left and right off POF, man, and all of them were just getting a free meal out of me. You know, they message me back. I take them out Monday night, nice dinner, movie, whatever. And then they'll talk to Frank or Alex the next day and get another free meal out of it. So I figured that out, that what they were doing. And like with that Luke Kane chick, she was guilty of doing that shit. So I figured that part out. And that's when I said, look, when I talked to a girl on a dating website, I said, we're going to meet in the park, meet somewhere free. And if you call me after that, then I'll take you out on a date. I just want to make sure that you're interested in me, because it just costs too much money. You're like, are you looking for, like, it's like a lot of girls are just on there looking for a good day. They won't even give you no pussy or nothing. They're just looking for a good day, you know, casually meeting people. That's why I try to say, hey, are you serious? Are you looking for a relationship, or are you just fucking around? And they're like, well, you got to be all serious. I'm like, look, it's a fair question, you know. Right. And them saying that pretty much answers the question itself. You know?
Yeah. It makes perfect sense, you know. You just have to do all that you can, and, you know, just, I don't know, you just try and just, you want to get to know, I mean, that's why you take them out to these places, why you want to go out with them, to take time and say, you know, and like I always like playing, a lot of them calls it 25 question game, but that's helpful in helping you to learn a little bit about them, you know. What's your favorite color? What cartoon character do you like? You know, what's your favorite sport? Do you like sports? Do you like reading?
That's the fundamentals of building that's the foundation of building a relationship, friendship, then relationship, whatever. That's the foundation of it. That's how you start it off. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do something, how are you supposed to know who you're with if you're not going to talk about anything about yourself? I don't mean just where you work at or what you do, but just things about you, things about your family. Are you a family-oriented person? Are you just a loner? Are you someone who likes to go out and to go watch a race? Do you like to go hunting? All these kinds of things. Do you like cheeseburgers? Do you like eating expensive places? You just try to get the feel out of that person so that, basically, you'll know whether you can get close or not, because typing on the computer ain't going to help me get any closer to no female. Sure, you can flirt with them, you can type the words out, but that's all.
Yeah.
That's
Well, hey, I'm gonna okay. Well, I'm gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna put on this pizza here in the oven. I'll be right back. So continue to elaborate on that, if you will.
Yeah, go right ahead, sir. It's just in today's times, ladies and gentlemen. It really that's where technology really rules things out, because it eliminates a lot of that contact. There's nothing like talking to someone, because you don't when you fall in love with someone, it can be something that's instant or something that could take weeks or months for you to fall in love. But I feel like if you can meet someone, it's like one of my exes. I met her in the next town over, and it's like when she came out of that out of the store, I seen her, and it's like I felt like this aura about her. There was just something. I'm like, wow, because this person here, we met on the messenger, we messaged a little bit, we got a phone, we texted, then we talked on the phone. But it was kind of a quick. It's like over a couple days that this happened. But when I met her and saw her face to face, I liked her. I dug her. And I'm like, wow, And we spent the whole evening together. We went by the old, well, for those of you who may not know, there's an old train depot. They've turned into where you can use it as a different multi-purpose using hall. But it was the old train depot. And her and I sat there after we ate, and her and I sit on the benches there, and we just talked, and we got to talking, and we were close and stuff and all, and, and we just spent it's like that whole day, evening, night was come, and time we left, it was late, the lights and stuff was on because everything went turned dark, and, I kissed her before she left, but it was like I felt that feeling was there. Now, had I been texting her or kicking her or Snapchatting her or Instagramming her or anything like that, could that impact have happened the same way? I don't think so, because it eliminates. There's too much it's taken away by using technology that takes away from actual human existence. That's why they always joke about computers taking over humans and stuff like that. But there's just some things computers, no matter what, will never be able to have. Human emotion, reaction, all these things that are there to feel. That's human beings. That's what makes humans different than anybody else, and having these feelings. But you going on and me meeting her and us spending time together, that was something that you had to do through person-to-person interaction, not, hey, let me get your Facebook page and Facebook each other, and let me send you an emoji real quick and send that, or let me send you a smiley face or a like, like my page. But it was basically us talking, and another relationship. This was a long distance one. This was one sort of what they call, which I know these days times called over the internet. That was a long distance relationship. Me and this girl that I truly, truly liked. We met. We talked. We started building it slow, but then we got to talking on the telephone over time. And it was about 6 months or so that we talked before we ended up things just couldn't be worked out. We could be together because of distance and other factors But I fell for this girl. She liked me. We sang. We kept up with each other and all. And I really liked her. And if circumstances could have been to where we could have been together, we could have been together today. That's just how I felt about her. But had I just stuck to messaging her and never talked to her, never text her, never sent pictures back and forth to each other, some kind of interaction to where you're having it and not letting social media and technology taking everything away, you ask yourself, could it really have lasted? Can this relationship, had we went through social media rather than person-to-person interaction, could it have lasted? Could it have made it like it should have? And 9 times out of 10, folks, I'm just going to flat tell you, no, it won't. No, you won't. That's what technology and social media does. It takes you away, because back when you talked on Yahoo Messenger, and I know, and Brandon, he has dealt with, he was more AOL Messenger and AOL stuff. He knows when even chatting in the AOL rooms, like I did with the Yahoo rooms and stuff, you met people that way, and that was it. You didn't have all these platforms to talk on. Hey, check out my Instagram. Hey, check out this. You just had Yahoo and AOL, and that's how you met people. And this other girl I talked to, me and her used to go in the Yahoo chat rooms together. She liked to sing, and I like country, one of the few kinds of genres I like. But she liked it too, and we went into these things, and we had a good time. We interacted. We met on here because she was like up in New York somewhere, and I was here. And we just went and interacted that way, and we talked and stuff and talked on the phone and sent pictures and stuff. We interacted that way. But she got time to know me and like me, and I'm sure Brandon can tell you too. If you give girls time, they give you time to talk to you, and they like that personality, they're more willing to give you a chance rather than you just being a picture on an application that somebody skips over, because you may not have the looks. Everybody may not have the looks, and they don't. You may just have personality, but that's what keeps somebody. Beauty on the inside can get ugly. Can get ugly. Beauty on the outside can get ugly. But if you have beauty on the inside, it doesn't ever have to fade away. It can always be there, and you be that beautiful person inside. And if they like you, they'll do that. So that's just me and my input on how I feel about having these things that takes away from human interaction.
I know, like echo. Fade out. I know, like on Facebook, I would use SoundCloud to send audio clips to girls I'm talking to, on Facebook through the private messages, and they would like that. It's like, wow, you got a nice personality. You seem like a nice guy. They're more likely to talk to me when I send them a voice clip, because it all goes back to the fundamentals, man. Actually, human communication or human contact, it just works better. And SoundCloud is very, very good for making quick voice clips to send to girls. You come off more legitimate. You stand out a little bit. They take you more seriously in a way, But I can't stand social media sometimes, man, because like you were saying earlier about the Tinders and the Twitters and, follow me here, follow me there, and you just trying to talk to the girl. Whereas back in the day, man, you talk to a girl, it was a deeper connection because she was lonely like we are, and I was like, hey, nice to meet you, Sarah, for example. I'll pick you up Friday, and she would look forward to that Friday. You pick her up Friday, and it was just a deeper connection with so much instant contact nowadays. It takes that away, and women got to have strong willpower to really focus on a single relationship. So my thing with social media is I just play the game with it if I feel like it. I try to give them the best compliments, comments, and I do the voice clip thing to really get them interested. And if that don't work, fuck it, And half the time I don't even want to do all that work, but that's usually my strategy. I will understand social media, and I will play social media to my advantage, because what else can I do? But I wish it was easier, But that's why I said, send them voice clips, and they'll like it. They're like, well, damn, this guy, he seems legit. He comes up, I forgot about that, things like that. So, the women love sex, so they're gonna get with somebody somewhere. I get, but But yeah, man, everything you're saying is on point, dude. I can't argue that. You know.
Well, and two, dude, is being separate, is being now. I'm kind of going to jump to the opposite side because I feel not only not only is there issues with that being a problem, I feel as in some point that that it can be something that is helpful. Okay, and by getting into detail with that, I will say this: technology, in some instances, and I will say this, not meeting people, but when you've got into a relationship, I feel as that having social media sometimes can be helpful into a point. This is when you're in a true relationship. I don't mean the girls. I'm not giving scenarios where the girls have all these other guys. I'm saying you're true to her, she's true to you. You know, you can actually have more activity talking to her than you did before, because used to, unless you wrote them a letter or you talked to them for a few minutes on the phone and that you were able to, because I mean, I don't know about you, but I know after growing up that I could use the phone at certain times, but I couldn't use it very long. You know, that my grandma just didn't allow us to be on the phone too long. So even growing up, it was that way until I got my cell phone.
Yeah, we slightly differ there because I stayed on the phone, dude. I remember when I was a kid, my best friend Justin, not Ravenous, but another Justin, man. We were best friends during elementary school, middle school. I stay on the phone all day, man, talking to him because there's nothing else to do. You know, that was the internet before the internet. To stay on that phone, and then staying here with my mom during my teen days. I got my own private phone. Before cell phones were common, I had my own private phone back there. And man, I was talking to girls all the time on the phone, three-way calling and stuff, made my prank call tapes and shit like that. But I just didn't have a car to go see them and stuff like that. So the phone thing, yeah, I mean, I was definitely a phone social person growing up. I couldn't live without my cordless phone, man, or whatever the case. You know, that was pretty cool back then. And
well, in my instance, it was just
verbal talking's always better than fucking just internet. I mean, internet's cool too, but it's just like a typewriter. You have to phrase everything like you're writing a letter when you're talking online. That's why people misinterpret what you say or what I say or whatever the case. There's a way of talking when you talk in an email or a letter. You know, you phrase it like, well, in my opinion, from my perspective, and this is how. But when you're talking, just talking to somebody in person in a bar or wherever, it's different. You know, because most communication is nonverbal. So then you can, they can really understand where you're coming from, feel your vibe.
Yeah,
and
that's
stuff.
true. And at some points, is I was saying, too, with it is that with at least with like the good things aspects of social media is that like you can't always talk on the phone. There's going to be points and times to where, like, let's say scenarios that you're in college or you're at work and maybe you can send your girl a text or something, thinking about you or and that's a good thing because used to before text messaging and these sites come, you couldn't do that. Like I said, I was one that was very deprived of really having a phone, so I rarely got that opportunity to be on it as much growing up. But when I started getting like my computer and stuff, and I started getting these sites where you could talk to more people and have your voice heard, it made things a lot easier for me. And when you're dating somebody, like even today, even though Yahoo Messenger is still here, Skype is really taking over because you have video on it. You have you can still text while you're talking on it. To me, I just felt like in that instance, it's a good thing because used to in my particular case, it would have helped me out a whole lot had I been able to have like an application or a text messaging to a girl, because before then you never knew what they were doing the whole week, unless you, like you said, you were able to have a line, a private line or something where you could actually talk to them. you never really knew what they were doing all weekend. And then you'd have to wait all week long to Friday night or Saturday night to talk to them. And then, like one girl I dated, I seen her at church. So I would get to talk to her Friday, and then I would see her at church on Sunday and Wednesday. But other than that, I didn't hear anything else from her because I just wasn't able to. So there is a couple, 2 to 3 things maybe that are good with social media that kind of help you, but it's when you're actually in one and with the person you love. Because if you get a girl or a guy that's flirty, they can say I love you all they want to your face, but they can flirt with Steve, Joe, Bob, Lee, all these other people here while they're telling you this, because that's the kind of people you are.
It's just as good as it is bad. It's still the Wild West. The internet's like the Wild West.
Yeah.
But it really concerns me, man, because I feel like on the negative side, it really concerns me because I feel like it's going to turn everybody into players, and you're always just one text away from talking to somebody else, and it's really dangerous. And that really kind of like how it exposed the wrestling business, and I think it's kind of exposed relationships a lot. It's just a minor concern. But on the positive though, like you're saying, like if you're busy or something, or if you're driving to your girlfriend's house, you can send a quick text and put OMW on my way, or or if you're at your job and you got a text, that's when it comes in handy. It's useful. It really is useful.
Right.
And I love the internet. I remember when I finally got the internet, dude. It was so amazing to me. And my first thought was I got to get on a dating website because now I can actually talk to people, because I was kind of shy. I don't go to clubs and stuff like that. And the internet was a really cool place for me to find women to talk to and stuff like that. That's the benefit of it. But on the flip side, every other guy's trying to talk to some girl as well.
Yeah.
But it's cool because you can actually speak to women. You don't have to go in the grocery store and try to flirt with the girl on aisle 5 every time. And that time you took me to Lumberton, I met Yokozuna's daughter and all this other stuff. But it was cool, man. I'm so old school. I used to call this dating site telephone number, where you call this telephone number. You pay a membership, you call this number, and you actually meet people through voice technology. I don't know if you've heard about it, but it was like, if you want to speak to Heather, press 1, Destiny, press, and they were real people close by, and you talk to them, and you run out of minutes and shit. And I'm like, well, hey, give me your real number so I can call you. And they're like, nah, that's okay. I'm like, bitch, I just wasted all my free trial membership thing here talking to you. I don't know if you remember that, dude. I forget the name of it, but the Star News, Wilmington Star News had a meeting place ad thing. Where you call it up and you talk to other people and shit. That was cool,
Right. I remember that. But I didn't do that around here. But I know exactly, exactly as well what you're talking about. So yeah, it's all right when you have that to kind of help you, especially when you don't have somebody. But it's just, to me, it's just funny that basically it's there, but it's those pros and cons, and it works out on both sides. So me, I'm just glad that I can be able to to do whatever I can do and just enjoy my life and just enjoy the things I want to do. And if I can find someone that I can spend time with and meet, that's great. And it's great that you have these outlets. The only problem is like you go on like my yearbook site now, it's called Meet Me. They're no longer really social sites, because you go to Meet Me and all you do is you'll click somebody's picture, and all you can do really is comment, and they'll comment, and you're like, that's a beautiful picture of you. And they're like, oh, thanks. And then you'll sit there the next time and go around, and they'll be, and then you'll get a message, a notification about that picture, thinking, well, hey, maybe she wrote me back. Guess who it is? It's Pedro.
Somebody else
Pedro's commenting to it.
Pedro.
Yeah.
It don't mean anything, dude. That's why I was saying earlier, like with Tiff, dude, I would send her the best comments. I would send you screenshots of it. where to where she got used to it. I made it a habit, and she would look forward to hearing my comments because I would just try to send her the best comments. That's when I was in the system playing the social media game, trying to get her attention. Because just commenting on a girl's picture occasionally and saying, hey, you're cute, blah, 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 it don't mean anything because Pedro will comment. And if you really like a girl, just keep up with her, keep commenting with her, and then eventually time it right and send her a PM and see if she responds to it. Slowly move in until you can pet the deer, like you said earlier, in that brilliant analogy. So, yeah, man, it's all about the game and how you play it. It's Triple H. We're going to call her Woman.
Well, you done hung up on that Triple H, ain't you, man?
I ain't hung up on nobody, dude. It's just I get that from Missionary.
No,
Missionary says that. It's Triple H. It's all about the game.
I just mean like last night. I heard you mention it last night, and I was like,
well, the reason I mention it now is because I said it's all about the game and how you play it. Then I thought about Triple H, you know. So, I ain't hung up on the motherfucker, but nah.
Hung up. I mean,
he's the main event of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I wish I was Triple H. Shoot. Yeah, man, I admire Triple H. Look at him, dude. I mean, he started off as a mid-carder, worked his way up, married the boss's daughter, man. Shit. That's the American dream. He played the game. He played the game, man. We can all be Triple H on social media, dude.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
That's true, man.
Ric Flair being flamboyant, Frank Sinatra being flamboyant. You know, I try to learn from them guys. Like, what is their secret? You know, they play the game, dude. They play the game.
Well, I tell you, man, it's something else, though. But yeah, man, get back what I'm saying. Social media can be an up and a downer. It just depends on how it works for you. You just have to learn to be careful. All you can really give advice to people that watch this video is just, for at least from Bill Mack here, is just be careful. And always be very precise and listen to what's being said and how it's being said. You have to be careful because people are good talkers these days. You have to use a little bit of common sense and be more mindful and don't fall for anything. Let your head first. Use your top head first and think about these things and process it. Don't jump the gun so quick because people on these sites, females, on these social media platforms can play the game and have played the game and probably still play the game. So from Bill Mack, I know Bullet can tell you his advice, but that's just from me.
Well, let me clarify, ladies and gentlemen. When I'm playing the game and I'm doing these flirts and stuff like that, I'm playing to win her heart. You know, I mean, well, I'm trying to win her and keep her. I'm not just fucking around. I don't have that luxury. So when I say play the game, I mean, you know, play it seriously. Be sincere. If you like the girl, roll the dice, play the game, do whatever you take the steps to get her attention. You know, compliment her, so on and so forth. Learn how to play the game to win her heart because you want to win her heart because you love her. You know, and that's how it was with Tiff, man. I fell in love with her and I was playing the game the best I could, man, and just to win her back, you know. And I got attention from her, and I was just surprised by that because she reached the Facebook limit. She had fucking 5,000 friends, and I was in like her top 3, dude. Because talking to her all the time, she would message me back, and I was just flattered by that because my psychology worked with her. And I only did that because I wanted her. I wasn't doing it just to fuck around. That's just a waste of time.
Right.
So, I mean, just study the game and play it. You know, it's a game, but also, you know, be serious and responsible. Like you were saying, be careful. But just do what you got to do to win her heart, you know. It don't matter how you win the match. You could cheat. Do whatever it takes to win the match. Just win the match. That's just me, you know. So he might think I talk slick or whatever, but I ain't got nothing, man. I'm just trying to win me a good woman. That's
Nothing
all.
wrong with that.
I'm trying to get your votes, people. Trying to get your votes and your subs. Nah. So I always come off as that type, but I don't have nothing. Ah!
That's all right, dude. It's understandable. At least you're being yourself, bud. That's really all you.
On the flip side, though, once you got girls talking to you on your pictures and shit, it's gonna make the other girl jealous, and she'll suddenly notice you. You know, once you play hard to get, and that girl that takes you for granted sees that there's other women trying to talk to you as well. That's when they suddenly want you. You know, it makes you more desirable.
That's true.
Yeah, that's why my friend Queenie helps me out with that. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, you're so sexy, Brandon. I'll tell her about, hey, Queenie, tell me I'm sexy and shit. Oh, Brandon, you so sexy in that picture. You know, just so girls will be like, make me more desirable. You know.
Well, Lee, and it's good that you got somebody
play it. You know. So, dude, other than that, I'm just straight up and just be honest as I can be and just do what I can, dude.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you got to do. I mean,
dude, every time I'm straight up with a woman, she fucking runs away.
And that tells you something about her.
Exactly. It's just I see that a lot in women. Like, hey, Tiff, are you getting married? Block. You know, Destiny, why are you breaking up with me? You know, oh well, because I don't want to be with you no more via text. You know, it's just. What the fuck, man? I'm not gonna punch you. I'm not gonna punch you in the face, sweetheart. I'm just trying to get some answers. I even phrase it this way. I say, look, honey, I'm not mad at you. Whatever you tell me, yes or no, I will not be mad at you. Just let me know. I'll respect you for it if you just simply tell me the truth. I don't get no response. I'm like, I made it as easy as possible for you to tell me the truth, and they're still like,
Yep. And we'll tell you right there what happens. So
it's so crazy. It's crazy and it's immature because I grew up thinking women mature faster than men. You know, women are you know, they mature faster than men, and they supposed to look for personality and stuff like that. And a lot of them do, to be fair, but I think it's taking longer for people to mature nowadays in the younger generation. Yeah.
That's so
I'm just glad I didn't have any kids in my 20s, because I would be fucked right now if I had to pay child support and whatnot, because I wouldn't be with that person right now.
Right.
Now, if I got married in my 20s and I was still married and had kids, sure, I'm all about that. I'm just glad I didn't make a mistake. Like, I'm just glad I was careful and I made sure to use protection with whoever I was with. And I always say, if you're with me 6 months from now, we'll take it to the next step or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I have to, man, because I can't. I gotta. That's a serious thing, dude. And
I'm there.
And Tiff hiding her engagement rings and stuff like that. I'm like, do you not realize how important being engaged is? And her boyfriend's an idiot for that. I'm just using that as a example, but that's from my experiences. I'm like, this bitch is getting married and she's trying to hide it on Facebook just because she's so addicted to attention from other guys.
Yeah.
I'm like, do you not realize how serious marriage is? Yes. What the and it's always going to be a serious step, and they're just going to have to learn the hard way. Good buddy, learn the hard way.
That's right. Yes, they do. And other people think they can walk into a relationship and move in with somebody and think that things are still going to stay the same, and they're going to do this and they're going to do that. They're going to hit the hard reality wall crashing, buddy, because there's nothing in this world that they're going to find out worse than thinking that things are still going to go on. Because one thing you talk to a woman across Skype, and one thing you may go spend overnight with them. But when you live with them, like I live with them, that's a total different ball game. That whole you is going to go out the window, bud. There's nothing that's going to keep you from being thrown out of it. You got to better come in a mindset, and people think like that better take an inventory of their life and realize that, because it ain't going to be the same when you with that person. Not at all.
It's completely different, dude. You don't have as much freedom. You got a responsibility. It's not all about you. It's about us type of mentality. And it's very different. You know, you're absolutely right.
That's exactly right. So people, be careful with this social media stuff. Be very mindful and who you're talking to. Make sure you're talking to the right person, and do enough research. Don't just go on by what to say. If stuff don't sound, because men and women, when they're very relying more on technology than talking, that means their talking skills aren't up to par. That means they can say things to you that they catch themselves in and not realize it, but you and I listening hear what they say and can see that there's a difference in it, because they lack those skills to be being able to talk a good game, but they spew these things out. And
because they don't have to. They don't have to do shit, but just sit there and look pretty. You know.
So,
I see the same patterns over and over and over, and that's when I say red flag here, red flag there.
right.
Like when I was dating Addie, me and Addie took a picture on the couch, and she said, "Hey, don't share this picture on Facebook." I said, "What? Get the fuck out my house." That was a red flag to me. She's like, "I just don't want my mom to see it." I said, "I just talked to your mom yesterday. She knows we're dating." I said, "You're full of shit." I said, "You just want to hide me so you can promote yourself." And I broke up with her for that, man. Well, we broke up with each other, but absolutely, man. I could see right through that shit. It's just some guys, they know better, but they're so pussy whipped, they just play along with it, like Tiff's boyfriend.
That's an idiotic person to do that too. That is.
If I bought my girlfriend an engagement ring, and she shared it on Facebook, and then quickly deleted it, I'll take my fucking ring back.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree with you.
Because she don't love you. When you love somebody, you don't care about other people like that. You don't want that attention. You got everything you need. You're satisfied. Don't be greedy. You know.
Yeah, that's true. And that's hard, but they don't, man. It really don't. That's why sometimes to me. It's aggravating, because to me, it just seems like, people could actually do more, and people actually can and say more. But when you're, that's why I said, and telling everybody when they listen, just to be more mindful, listen, be observant to what is being said, because you can be, if you're not careful, some people can talk a good game. You just have to catch see if there's any little loopholes, and like Brandon said, if the red flags will show up when you least expect, you just have to be careful and actually watch for them. Not saying discredit a relationship, because you don't want to not give the person a chance, but you just want to be careful with yourself and your heart, that you don't allow your guard to go down, to be unprotected if something is bound to happen, if that person turns out to be not who they are. So that's just my advice. And that's just where I would go with it. You don't want to just share that out there, because it can be harmful. You can fall in that trap. It's like quicksand. You get stuck in quicksand, and there's nothing to hold you up. You're going to sink down because you got caught in it, and that's not what you want to do. Sometimes social media can be that trap and suck you in, and then you realize, well, I'm already up and knee deep in it, and I can't get out, because you allowed yourself in without thinking. You got to process and make sure and be more mindful of your surroundings. Be more mindful of how the internet can be, and just kind of take things easy. Guard your heart just a little bit tighter than what you would, but just be more mindful of the people that you talk to on here, because social media, it can do its own thing, and it does have its own.
Just pay attention, be mindful, and listen to your gut. Now, a lot of times your gut is correct on a lot of things. Because the problem is with a lot of guys, it's so hard for us to get a girl and get her to stick with us, that we want to believe everything she's saying. Like, she's playing you on social media, but you don't want to believe that, because you just want a girlfriend, And I've been guilty of that, sure. Like I knew she was probably talking to somebody else, but I didn't want to believe that. And, my gut was telling me it was wrong, and so on and so forth. But the older I get, the better I get with it in general. I just try to be straight up with them, and just call them out on their bullshit. But yeah, women just a lot of women, they could just play guys so easily on social. You don't know who to trust anymore.
Right.
You just don't know who. It's so hard to trust people nowadays, man. And a good relationship is built on trust. There ain't no trust, there ain't no relationship. Not a good one. You know? Like a friend of mine said he would never trust his wife or trust a woman. I said, dude, you have to take a chance and trust a woman to truly love her. But I get why he's saying that. I'm guarded too, but if I'm if I'm married to a woman, of course I'm going to trust her. I have to take that risk because trust is love. Trust is love. You know, it's like that movie with Robert De Niro, Casino. You know, he said, this is my wife and I'm going to trust her. He took a chance and she was playing him the whole time, but he wouldn't believe it because he said when they got married, he would trust her. But but not all women are that fucking vicious. And again, we're not talking about all women here. Mostly just like younger women. They just take the players, just the players out there. Because back in the 90s, women could say that men are players all they want to. So yeah, I'm just calling them out on their bullshit, dude, because it happens all the time. You know?
Yeah, women are just they know they have the upper hand these days and times. They know they do.
They sure do, man. They sure do. They got the easy ride, man. They got the easy ride.
Right.
You know, I seen a fat female pig get 100 likes on her pictures. I'm like, well, fuck, and I can't even get 10 likes just because she's a female. But that's okay, man, because I'd rather be on this side anyway. So when I get something, I appreciate it. It's more meaningful to me. Kind of like the Mustang analogy. I didn't get my first Mustang until I was 24, and it was an older Mustang, a 90s model, where I see 18-year-old teenagers out there with fucking brand new Mustangs that their parents bought them, or the rednecks with the big trucks that their parents bought them. And I had to save up my money to get my own dream car. But you know what? It was more meaningful to me. Like, yeah, my Mustang might be older than yours or whatever, but you know what? I saved my money and it's more meaningful to me, and you'll never understand that. You know?
Yeah. Very true, man. Very true. Very well spoken with that. Very much. I agree with you.
I try. I'm just kind of sloppy tonight. Just kind of tired and shit. I mean, I'm enjoying this. I'm glad we did this video.
Yeah.
I'm not talking
out here. Because we want our subscribers to be well informed, you know, and by, like I say, subscribing to you and your subscribers and things and whatnot, they just can see that and get that advice. And those out there that Twitter that can see it and stuff, and you know, and they can read this thing and maybe it can help somebody. You never know what one video can reach out and do to someone. So it's always good to helpful to give advice to people and talk about situations that's real life. I mean, there's too much fantasy out there in the world for people to talk about. They leave a lot of realistic things and they're not spoken about. They're not talked about. But there has to be somebody or some people out there that are willing to talk about the issues and be straight up about them and not being so PC all the time.
The truth hurts. People hate hearing the truth, man. But my thing is, I live by the truth. I live in reality. Because that's just where I live at, and I don't live nowhere else, and I just embrace it and accept the facts and just do the best I can with it. You know, I just accept reality and how things are and do the best I can with it. You know, and like you said, people want to live in a fantasy world and shit like that. It's not always sunshines and rainbows. But the sun will shine on a dog's ass once in a while. A broken clock is right twice a day, you know. But
that's very true, man. That is very well spoken, my friend. Very well spoken. But that is
sun will shine on the dog's ass. Dude, when Destiny dated me for 2 years, she was a pretty girl, and I could not believe this pretty girl was dating me, man. I just couldn't believe it. And when she called me the next day and said she wanted to see me again and date me again, I said, man, I am so lucky. I can't believe this. I said, even the sun will shine on a dog's ass once in a while. That's what I told Destiny on our second date together. I said, I can't believe this is happening. She's like, what you mean? I said, I can't believe we're seeing each other again. I said, she's like, you're so romantic. And I gave her a rose. And I said, even the sun will shine on a dog's ass once in a while. You know, I was just a piece of shit to her, you know. So I was like, yeah, man.
But yeah, man, I said that's totally it.
Life is full of booby traps. Reality is full of booby traps. Got to learn how to avoid them motherfuckers. I got a flat tire bill one day in Wilmington. It's full of booby traps.
Oh,
we're on our way to go see some girls, you know.
Yeah, the man threw the man's keys down there, and I said, "Hey, what's keys?"
Well, let that man throw your keys down like that?
Yeah, man, go to me, you know. Let the man throw your keys down like that. So take your keys. Let him know your keys. And politely put them down there. Put them down there. Don't throw them down there. Them ain't his keys. Them yours keys. You know.
That's when you clap your hands real hard and say, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Yeah, I was like, "Hey, I'm from Chapman. You don't know me."
That's exactly right.
You don't know him. We from this area. You don't know us. Once you take the keys and politely put them in his hand.
That's right, dude. But that's pretty much all I got to say about relationships for the night, man. But I appreciate you helping me out with this topic video and me helping you out with your topic video. Helping each other out, dude, because, you know, trying to keep our channels going, man. We're doing what we can to survive here.
That's right. We can definitely do that, and I'm glad we can handle this topic here and maybe get together for future videos when we have topics like this that we can do them, you know, together. I know sometimes we can do
them when we team up together. We can do them more often. I'm helping you make your own topic videos, and you're helping me at the same time. Because if it weren't for you, I wouldn't feel like doing this tonight. So I'm just trying to get as many videos as I can out there, because the more videos you do, the more active you are, the more followers you get,
right?
And you know, stuff like that. So I'm getting close to 100, man, and it's really humbling, you know, to me. It's really humbling, and it makes me want to do it. So a lot of times I might not feel like doing a video, and I'm like, well, if Bill will help me do a video, that'd be fine. And I'm also helping you at the same time, you know. That's what I'm trying to do here, you know.
It's all about being humble, man. All about being humble.
It's like our friend Raven Spector, man. He's throwing out videos left and right, man. And you and I are just struggling, man. We had to team up just to get something out there.
Well,
man.
It's just that it's just that our content is over a variety of subjects. It's
but
not.
I was just picking. I'm just taking
on one particular thing, because that's easy to do. If I want to talk about crayons, I can do one video on red, one video on blue, one video on green, one video on how they can break easily, one video on how they can, you know, to stay in coloring in the lines with them. One video where they're drawing out the lines of them. You can take one topic and spread 1,000 little mini ones after that. But you and I really try to tackle topics and stuff that are really relatable to everyday life. And a lot of times when we do wrestling or whatever it is, we try to do stuff that's typically related to everyday life. So I am more than appreciative of you helping me with this and us trying to work on these things and sending some of these topic videos together. And you know, sometimes we're going to have videos we're going to do together and sometimes not, but it's always good that we can put two brains together and hopefully help someone with advice or whatever. And like I said, if they have any questions, they can hit my subscribe to me, like mine, subscribe to you, like yours, leave comments in the sections of it. We'll try to answer them. I mean, we're wanting to help. So if anybody has any questions, you know, like us and subscribe to us. And share us with other people. So with that being all said, and that with understanding this, I will say so long for now. And this is Bill Mack along with
Mr. Brandon. You can follow me at Twitter at BulletB1983. And you guys take care. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. It's very humbling to me.
Yes, man. It's very humbling to have you on here tonight for this particular subject, and hopefully many more to come when we have our particular topic videos together. And this is Bill Mack here. And you can follow me actually at mine. I'm on Facebook, facebook.com/WMacAbey3, Twitter at Bill_Mac3, and my Instagram is Bill.Mac. So feel free to, and plus we can post them down in the description. So everyone take care. Have a good night. Until next time. Catch you later.
Later.